Hello, everyone. Good evening. This is Priyanka Dungarwal. Thank you.
So, our first hot seat tonight is Priyanka because it reminds us that extraordinary careers aren't built by luck, but they are built through decisions we make when life is at its toughest. A few years ago, I remember Priyanka losing her job. She had no idea what her next opportunity would look like. But see that today she's here, sitting on the hot seat to share an extraordinary result with you. Priyanka, all yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Nutan. So, I would quickly share what she's talking about. I am the only one employee in my organization out of 10,000 of us in my organization to receive the approval from US headquarters to permanently work in a virtual role.
Wow, isn't that amazing? Creating that space in the organization that you're that single one person who gets an exception from all the company policies. People generally say policies are written in stone, they don't change. But here's an example that shows us that yes, policies can change. So let's try and understand the journey behind this incredible achievement. Well, Priyanka, I would really like to start from going back to the very beginning. What was happening in your life when we first met?
I'm actually a little nervous and also excited to share. So, well,
Come
I
on,
had
guys. So she's nervous. Let us really show a lot of love and excitement.
So yes, I had lost my job and it had been I was unemployed for almost 3 months. It wasn't just a job loss; it affected my confidence very deeply. I started questioning my decisions, my ability, and even my career choices. A former manager of mine who had benefited immensely from coaching encouraged me to speak with you. Honestly, I wasn't even sure, and I was too skeptical that how would I even afford coaching because I was living off my savings.
So, yes, I remember that conversation the first
Yes,
time we met. And luckily, today, that manager of hers is a dear friend of hers, a dear friend of mine. She's my coachee. And I'm sure she's
yes.
attending the session today and she's very excited to listen to the story. So, something then happened, right? After this conversation, and you joined the coaching. Let us understand what was the first opportunity that you received.
Yes. So within 15 days of the coaching started, I received a contract opportunity through a very not very well-known vendor. The salary was good, but I didn't want to accept it. I believed that once I joined as a contract employee, I would never get back to a permanent role.
Correct. I remember you telling me that this will not work. We can look for another job. And I told you, don't let's focus on the contract or who's employing you. Focus on what value you can create. And you finally said a yes. What made you say that yes?
Well, it's your confidence. If I be honest, it is just your confidence, and because of that, I said yes. You kept telling me that if I consistently add a value, the company itself would find a way to retain me anyhow. At that time, I honestly didn't believe it, but today it is a reality.
Yeah. So if I ask you amongst all the sessions that you've had, what's one of the biggest lessons that you've learned during these coaching sessions?
So one sentence actually stayed in my heart, and that changed everything you told me, which is your career is your responsibility, not your manager's responsibility. So that hit me hard, and that completely changed my approach towards my work. Instead of quietly doing my work, I started contributing. I started speaking up in the meetings. I asked questions, started sharing ideas, sought regular feedbacks, focused on understanding the business rather than just completing the tasks.
Fantastic. Now, we all know that so many professionals work hard, but they remain invisible. So, what helped you to stand out amongst the crowd?
Yes, I mean, that was one of the biggest concern I had, that how would I become visible in my organization? But I stopped waiting actually to what, I stopped waiting to be told what to do. I became proactive. I built processes. I create templates, improved communication with customer, started solving problems proactively. Gradually, people started trusting me with the responsibilities. I started getting invited for the strategic decisions and pre-sales conversations. That's when I realized that visibility does not come from the I mean, visibility generally comes from the consisting adding value.
Absolutely true. So that's one lesson that comes across, right? That you don't have to wait to be told what to do. The minute you become proactive, things start changing. Even
Yes.
after getting the job, you didn't stop learning. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I remember that you pushed me for the certification, and I was the one that, what if I fail? So you kept telling me, you kept reminding me that don't just earn the certification, apply it immediately so that it will stay in your mind forever. So I started introducing better project frameworks, templates, and working methods inside the organization. Those improvements were appreciated not only within my team, but across different countries. Today, I also use AI tools like Microsoft Copilot, PMI Infinity, and many others to improve productivity and make better decisions.
Wow, fantastic. So, another one great thing which I tell all of my coaches that knowledge is of no use if it is not implemented. And that is one thing that Priyanka started doing while she was going through her course of project management through the institute, studying so much. She also took efforts to actually start implementing what she was learning. There's another one very important part of your journey which I don't want anyone to miss. So, you were working remotely from Pune, but there were team events happening in Bangalore.
Yes,
And since you were not a virtual employee, you had to pay your own expenses. I
yes,
told you to invest that. And each time when you would go for that visit, we would actually sit and plan in a session. Who should you meet? What conversation should you have?
yes,
How can
yes.
you strengthen those relationships? I would love to know, did these visits really matter?
It did actually help me a lot. Initially, I saw them as in pure expenses, and I did not understand why you are asking me to go there just to visit my team. But when I look back today, it has become one of the best investment in my career. Those visits have helped me to build genuine relationships with my team and my senior leaders. People got to know me beyond emails and virtual meetings. The trust I built during those interactions played a huge role in my growth and eventually in the organization making an exception to retain me.
Well, that's such an important lesson, right? Relationships don't happen by chance, they are built intentionally. And then, of course, came the final challenge. In spite of all the work that was put in spite of all what she was doing by being proactive, there came a challenge in the organization. The company announced a mandatory return to office policy. Of course, you couldn't relocate to Bangalore. So, what went into your mind at that point of time?
First thought, honestly, I would lose everything. But instead of worrying about what I couldn't control, I focused on what I could control. So I kept delivering, I kept supporting customer, I kept helping different teams and adding value. The senior manager kept telling me, don't worry, just continue doing what you are doing. And that was something I had never experienced in my life before.
Wow. So imagine people are telling her, all the senior stakeholders, that you don't bother, we'll see what needs to be done. Now let's really remember that beautiful moment, that email that changed your life.
I cannot forget that day ever. So it was 23rd of April, and I saw an email in afternoon somewhere 12:30. I saw an email with the subject line called Virtual Conversion for Priyanka Dungarwal. So initially I thought it is a denial rejection, but then when I opened it, I saw it's my permanent virtual role has been approved. So I couldn't stop crying at that time. The first thing I did was this I took a screenshot and sent it to you. So that day I realized something, that you believed in me long before even I believed in myself.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember that moment was such a beautiful moment. We both were in tears and we were really
Yes.
exchanging such amazing warmth because something that we were working towards had really happened. Well, today
Yes.
I feel many professionals keep asking this question. How do you build trust while you're working remotely? What would you share with them?
What helped me, I can share what has helped me is
Yes.
the trust comes from the accountability. So do what you are committed to do. Communicate proactively, listen before offering solutions, and understand your stakeholders. Be dependable, actually. So I also work across three time zones: US, EMEA, and Asia for customers. So being available when needed and respecting different cultures has helped me to build strong relationships globally. People don't trust you because you're visible. They trust you because you're reliable.
Well, looking back today, what advice would you give someone who's just lost their job or is feeling stuck in their career?
Well, I would say just one thing, that don't let one setback define you. Keep learning, keep improving, keep adding value. Focus on becoming someone your organization cannot ignore. The opportunities will come, but you have to become ready before they arrive it to you.
Wow, that's really fantastic. Thank you, Priyanka, for sharing your journey so openly, sharing the struggles that you went through. And I would like to tell each one of you here that the story wasn't about getting permission to work remotely. It
Yes,
wasn't about luck. It also wasn't about one opportunity. It was about becoming someone who consistently created so much value that the organization chose to make an exception
yes,
rather than losing her. That is the real lesson. So don't chase opportunities. Become the kind of professional that opportunities are created for you. Thank you
yes.
so much, Priyanka.
Thank